Hey everybody, welcome back to Allenhouse Sound. I'm Dave, and today we're going to talk about the monitor settings on this X32 console. We're going to kind of just dive right in, but I had some questions recently, myself included, with some discussions around some of these settings, the exclusive setting, the after fader level, some of those different settings that are in there. Now, if we look at the console, on the top right of this console, there's a view button in the monitor section, and that's what we're going to be pushing to get in and out of these settings. And so we're going to just dive right in, talk about the different ones, what they do, and then and how you might want to use them. So that's great. Let's dive into the console now. All right, so we're going to take a look at this monitor section up here. I did some research on the desk yesterday and just wanted to let you know what I found out. So in this monitor section, we hit the view button and we get this monitor screen up here. And we have some solo options. Starting at the top, exclusive, which says last, just pertains to the solo button that you have pushed last. If you have, by default, with it off, you can push a bunch of select buttons and they will start to just add upon each other, and you will get this kind of jumbled multiple inputs or multiple mixes being soloed at the same time, where when you select exclusive or last, it will only solo the last item that you have soloed, and it will turn off the solo on all of the other ones. The next item we have is solo follows select. That one's pretty self-explanatory. If you select a channel, then your solo would in fact follow that select button that you've pushed, and so you can see that jump around as you hit a select button. The other one is select follows solo. So if you solo a channel, then your select button will follow that, so that if you're soloing it and then you go to make EQ changes, you know that you are impacting the item that you're listening to and not necessarily some previous thing that you have selected. Now, do keep in mind that if you don't have exclusive selected at the top, but you have select follows solo, then as you hit the solo button, your solo capability will continue to grow and expand with what you're hearing, but your select is only following, obviously, the one channel that you have selected. Okay, so next we've got the channel solo AFL. What this is going to do is soloing each channel after fader level. So this deals with your input channels, and when you have anything inserted, the after fader level will in fact give you the ability to hear all of those changes. So if I hit the home screen real quick and go to one that I was just messing with, you can see that I've inserted something. And I inserted a limiter that was like pegged. The limiter was this, so I had 13 dB of input gain on this limiter, just really exaggerating the signal going into it. And then I was hitting an EQ and then compression. And the after fader level is after all of this channel strip, then your fader, what do you actually hear is the resultant output of that. So that's what your channel solo AFL does. Now we've got the same thing for mix bus solo. If you're running a live stream on a mix bus like I am, you can solo the mix bus. You can hear all of your limiting, compression, EQ, all that stuff before it leaves your console by hitting mix bus solo AFL. We have another one here for DCA because DCA also has a solo feature. And so if you solo the DCA, you can listen to that after fader level. Now, obviously for a DCA, there's no channel strip involved with that. It's just listening or soloing a grouping of channels. The next one, use dim for pre-fader level. What that would do is utilize this dim setting here, which is kind of an attenuation that you can use to minimize your signal. So if you're listening to a monitor or headphones at a normal level, maybe your main level, which is not drastically exaggerated, and then you go to solo, say your live stream, which is pushed up for broadcast level, then you can incorporate a dim here. Let's say as a real life example, you have 7 dB. If we go to effects, let's say that this input on your limiter is pushed up 7 dB. Well, when you come back here, you can set your dim to be -7. so that you can kind of A/B things. You can listen to what is the true impact and mix sound like compared to what I'm listening to on my mains. That's also a very useful feature in the studio. If you want to do some A/B comparisons, a lot of times, certain compressors will bump levels up. You can use the DIM and do an A/B there. The last one here is use master fader, and if you have that selected, then that's going to let you use your main fader for a solo level. Hearing through your monitors or your headphones. That's really useful also in studio work. I use it a lot when I'm doing stuff with my DAW right into the console. It gives me my main fader that I can work with. I don't have to deal with the little knob that's at the top of the console. Just looking at the right here, there's a mono button, and I love using the mono button. I've got a video that I'll post up here, which is about the mono button, and that mono will take your stereo mix, say your live stream, and sum it into mono. And that is really, really helpful if you want to hear the true stacking of your instruments, your true mix, what it's probably going to sound like on say a phone or a tablet. The mono helps, but you can also adjust the dB level, because sometimes that mono will sound like it gets quieter when you go to mono, because it takes the width of all of your effects and it just kind of trims it down. And then the final thing is, by default, what do you hear out of the headphones or the monitors is this. So you could choose left, right bus. You can use left-right pre-fader level, left-right after fader level, or if you have aux 5, 6, or aux 7 and 8 set up, then you can select those by default as well. A lot of people just leave it as left-right bus, and that's just fine. When you plug your headphones in, then you're at least hearing some music come through, but knowing what you're hearing is determined by that setting right there. Please take a second and visit the like button and the subscribe button.